This is the Steve Gruber Show.
And fighting for you for the Foxhole of Freedom, we light the fuse in another big hour here at the Steve Gruber Show. Thank you for being here. We appreciate your support. Truly, we do. There's a lot to fight for right now. Midterm's not too far away and a lot of work to do. So let's get right to it. Here are three big things you need to know. Number one, a new feature on X has people screaming about where influencer accounts are actually coming from, including some big MAGA accounts that we now know were based in the Middle East and Asia. Caught ya. Number two, where are the big connections of President Trump in the Epstein Files? We yet to see anything that the Democrats kept claiming were in there. I'm not surprised at all, are you? No. And number three, it's Thanksgiving this week. Then, of course, right into Black Friday. Then, of course, the heart of the Christmas shopping season. We should talk about the economy and what Anthony's buying me for Christmas. These are important topics. A lot of questions about affordability. And you can spare no expense, Anthony. It'll be fine, whatever you could decide to give me, all right? The markets have been volatile, to say the least. People are concerned. Let's see. As I was telling you here earlier, the markets, the futures, looking pretty good as we head into a new trading day shortly. Let's see here. The market futures say that we're going to be up a little bit. Was a lot more, but up a little bit. We're still at 46,400. I mean, things aren't too bad. The S&P will be up a little bit. NASDAQ will be up pretty decent, actually, a couple hundred points. So that's all good news. But the volatility of the markets have people concerned. The administration says, don't worry. They've got this. Say they're focused on the biggest word right now, which, of course, is affordability. Scott Bessent just hammered Kirsten Walker on inflation on NBC. Here's what he said.
The one thing that we're not going to do is do what the Biden administration did and tell the American people they don't know how they feel. They are traumatized, and over the Biden inflation, we have slowed inflation, and we are working very hard to bring it down. Kristen, I can tell you that the Council on Economic Advisors has a study. You know the best way to bring your inflation rate down? Move from a blue state to a red state. Blue state inflation is 0.5% higher, and that is because they don't deregulate, they keep prices up, energy is higher.
Yeah, you've got to look at the price of it. And by the way, when you look at the price of oil, oil continues to be a great bargain. West Texas Intermediate's all the way down to $57.95. Brent crude, the standard, $62.45. That's about $3 or $4 less per barrel than it was a week ago. Energy prices are in good shape, which means inflation over time will come down. Does it help you today? Probably not. Does the price of groceries, does it go down? Probably not. But look, we had a spike of inflation of over 9% in the middle of the Biden administration. Over 9%. Now, Secretary Bessent also says that if Democrats shut down the government again, it's got to be the end of the filibuster. Here's more of that interview.
That's the point of my editorial, is to put the Senate on notice that the Democrats kept the government shut down, and Ezra Klein in the New York Times took the mask off. He said this wasn't about health care. This was about stopping totalitarianism. The Democrats haven't been able to stop President Trump in the courts. They haven't been able to stop him in the media, so they had to harm the American people. 1.5% hit to GDP, $11 billion permanent hit. They don't care. So I believe that Senate Democrats, if Senate Democrats close the government again, that Senate Republicans should immediately abrogate the filibuster. You should ask Senator Klobuchar whether she will adhere to the filibuster and whether she will close the government again.
Just yes or no, though. Do you acknowledge at this point you don't have the votes right now to do that?
We will see. Can have them on January 3rd when we see this bad Democratic behavior.
All right, Secretary.
Bad Democratic behavior. We'll see. I think it'd be pretty important to have that happen. I mentioned the Epstein Files here earlier. I'm going to shift gears on you a little bit. Big push to get the Epstein Files released. Larry Summers, the former Secretary of the Treasury, during the Clinton years, he was outed. Other Democrats, like Hakeem Jeffries, were found to have taken a pile of money from Epstein for their election efforts back in the last few years. no ties to Donald Trump. That's why they've shifted again. Don't give up the ship. And other such nonsense. Stephen A. Smith, who I find interesting. I do find him interesting, and he gets fired up. He lays out the truth on why Trump signed the deal to release the Epstein Files. Here's his theory on it. I think it's a pretty good one. Go.
He did something that I didn't see coming. He said, to hell with it, open the files. I'll sign to open the files. No problem. And the first words that came to my mind was, uh-oh. Because Donald Trump is not going to do that if it's going to be something that significantly hurts Donald Trump. He's going to do it if, dare I say, he's got something on other people. Because that is who we know him to be, ladies and gentlemen. That's what it is. There's no way around this. And sure enough, one of the first names that came out was Larry Summers, who worked as the Treasury Secretary under the Clinton administration, who worked on economic policies for Barack Obama, who was religiously associated with the left.
Yeah, there you have it. Where's the information on Trump? Where's all the dirty dealings and the associations with Epstein? And, oh, you know, Epstein went to Thanksgiving with Trump in 2017. No, he didn't. The nonsense that circulates on social media is really quite something. Here's my number one use for AI now. My number one use for AI, I'll just take a post and say, is this true? Most times it's false. Not every now and then it's, well, you know, mixed results, or it's not clear, or this is technically true, but, right? I do that all the time. Now, the stuff you see on social media should be disregarded in large part. It's garbage. If 1 thing in 10 that you read on social media is true, you're having a pretty good day. And you have to wonder, are there things in there that Trump was aware of because the Republicans have been rifling through these files going, oh, look what we got here. Look, and then they'll maybe drop those bombs from time to time on the way to midterm election day 2026, maybe. But again, the linchpin of the 2026 midterms will be, can people afford a mortgage? Can people get a used car? Can they pay their groceries? And what about health care? Now, the president promising they're going to have a health care deal in front of the American people in the very near future. John Thune, the Republican leader of the Senate, the majority leader, said there'll be a plan for everyone to look at coming out next month in December. I hope that's true, because Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, is a failure. We need to do better for people. And if it's sending money directly to consumers to choose their own insurance, well, let's go that way. I'll take a break and be right back.